Hi, I'm Jessie, and I'm going to guide you today in a 15-minute practice to help nourish your hips and get you feeling grounded and steady. So for today's practice, you'll need your yoga mat, a blanket, a yoga block, and perhaps a yoga belt or strap. Let's get started. So begin sitting on some height, whether that be a blanket folded or your yoga block, just so that your hips can be a little bit elevated and you can really feel the contact points between your sits bones and what you're sitting on. And then from that broad point of contact, feel a sense of your sits bones, the base of your spine, just grounding and spreading. And from there, find a lightness in your spine. You might visualize each bone of your spine getting a little bit further away from the bone below it, without causing any tension in the neck or the shoulders, but simply finding that internal drawing upward of the spine. If you feel tension in the shoulders, you might take a breath and draw the shoulders up toward the ears. And as you exhale, let the shoulders go. You might do that a few times. And once you've settled into this space, into this seat, perhaps close the eyes and allow your attention to draw inwardly, allowing the distractions, the sounds, the sensations become like a background noise as you become more and more fascinated with what's happening in your internal world. You might listen for the rhythm of your breath, the natural rhythm, without guiding it or doing anything to it. Just listening for the cadence of the inhale and the exhale. And as your attention may wander, just gently draw it back to the breath. And with a sort of playful approach, begin to investigate the internal world. So feeling into the body, feeling what places in the body most take your attention. What places in the body feel most nourished already? So let your awareness go to that place of nourishment, and offer that place of nourishment a little bit extra attention and awareness. You might breathe into that space and invite that space to grow just a little bit more expansive, a little bit beyond the boundaries of that sense of nourishment. And with each exhale, you can feel as though just layers of tension, layers of constriction are falling away with each and every exhale. Inhaling into that space of nourishment, inviting it to expand even beyond its perimeter. And exhale, letting anything else that's not that sense of expansion fall away. And when you're ready, we'll set an intention for practice. So reach the arms wide apart, feel some buoyancy in the rib cage and the back ribs and the sides. Keep that lightness as you draw your hands together at heart center, drawing your thumb into your sternum and your sternum into your thumbs, And with that buoyant heart, set your intention for today's practice. So perhaps grounding, rooting down, or perhaps nourishment, or perhaps something you're working with in your yoga practice or in your life. But just take this next moment to feel the energy of that intention. And as you breathe in, feel every cell of your body swell with the vibration of that quality. Exhale, bow your head to your heart and trust that this gesture will seal your intention inside and help guide your practice today. Inhale, drawing the chin level with the floor. Exhale, releasing the arms down to the sides. Stepping the feet one at a time to the floor in front of you. If you're on height, you might come off of that height, take it to the side, and then place your hands behind your body. I'll show from the side here. From here, the fingers can be pointing forward, they can be pointing out to the sides or back, whatever feels most nourishing for you. And then inhale, broaden and lift the chest, maybe gazing up at the sky or maybe continuing to gaze forward. Exhale, let the knees go down and to the right. Keeping your chest broad and lifted, inhale through center and exhale, knees to the left. So having an attitude here of exploration rather than of trying to find a stretch or trying to force anything to happen, just see what happens when the knees lower to the left. Where do you feel sensation? Where do you feel nourishment? Inhaling through center and exhaling the other way. And then maybe, if it feels inviting, gaze over the opposite shoulder. So when the knees go one way, the gaze goes the other. Inhaling, coming through center, exhaling the opposite direction. You can be as big or as small as you choose with these movements. Keeping that playful attitude of exploration, seeing what feels good in the body. And then maybe this time you'll inhale and reach the arm up and overhead in the opposite direction of the knees. And continue moving in this way. How far can you reach? How much can you keep your movements linked with your breath? And finding a sense of completion here, we'll come back through the center and then hold on behind the thighs with the hands. From here, we'll find just a little bit of warming in the core by slowly rolling down, curling your tailbone, feeling as though you can touch one bone at a time to the earth. And then inhale, come on back up. Exhale, curling down. If you want more of a challenge, you might lift the arms away from the legs, or you can keep them behind the thighs and just explore this movement in the back of the body, moving with breath. Curling the tail, rounding the low back, inhaling to come back up to neutral. See if you can soften your face and find a smile here. The next time you come up, find your block. So bring your block with you. We'll take it just by the hips, and then we'll roll back slowly onto the back. So you can do this by holding on the backs of the thighs or reaching the arms forward and seeing how you can articulate one bone at a time to the earth until you're flat on the back with knees bent here. Place the hands on the fronts of the pelvis. And as you inhale, rock the pelvis forward, allowing the low back to arch gently away from the floor. Exhale, flatten the spine into the earth, draw your tail toward your knees. And then inhale, rocking forward. You might choose to start really small here, and with each round of breath, growing a little bit bigger with your movement. But just really stay connected, interested, intrigued by the rhythm of your breathing and how the breath interacts with the rest of your body. Notice what happens to the neck as you move your pelvis. Notice how that movement originating in your hips translates up the rest of your spine. The next exhale, when your pelvis is tucked under, your back is flat against the floor, begin to lift from your tailbone, then your lowest back, then your middle back, keeping the back long as you lift into a bridge pose. From here, slide your block underneath your hips, pretty low down, so that it's not at your lumbar spine, but instead low on your sacrum. And then just check in with the body here, see if this is a comfortable position. It may be nice to add a blanket over the block for a little extra cushion. We'll be here for a little while. On an exhale, draw your left knee into your chest and either catch the shin or the back of the thigh with your hands. And then on your next exhale, send your right leg straight out. And we'll be active here at first, so press strongly out through the heel of the right extended leg. Draw your toes back toward your knee and see how long you can get, how much distance you can have between your heel of the right foot all the way to your shoulder. How much space can happen there? Breathing slowly and mindfully here. And then notice what happened in the spine as you extended this leg out. See if you can invite your front ribs to draw a little bit closer down toward the floor. And then notice where you feel sensation when you use that little subtle cue. And next, see how long and slow and smooth your breaths can be here. See if you can send your inhale into the front of your right hip, your hip flexors, your psoas. Inhale, almost like you're inflating that muscle like a balloon, and then exhale, see how much you can melt and soften and let go. And then this time, let the whole leg relax completely. So letting go of that action through the heel and instead softening the leg and just letting it melt over the support of your block here. This is one of my favorite ways to access the hip flexors and to find a little opening. And honoring your body if it's time to come out and neutralize, or you might explore by stepping this right foot out to the side off of your mat and then letting the left knee come out to the left. So just a little bit of a different sensation. And if you're inspired to move in a certain way, maybe reaching the right arm overhead or finding some kind of a movement that feels gentle and nourishing, feel free to explore that here. Staying connected with your breath. And when it's time, draw the left knee into the center and then draw the right leg through center as well.
Step your right foot to the floor here, and then exhale, lower the left leg to the floor. And it might feel helpful to find another bridge pose and just explore sensation in the spine before you land back down on the block. And we'll find this posture on the other side. Exhale, drawing the right knee into the chest and clasping behind the thigh or the shin. Inhale here, and then exhale, send the left heel strongly away from the body. So pressing out through the heel, finding action in the quadriceps muscles, the fronts of the left leg. Enjoying your deep, smooth breathing, softening the shoulders, seeing if most of the effort in this pose can come through that extending out through the leg and pressing out through the heel. And if the ease can find its way into your face, your neck, your shoulders. Breathing slowly and smoothly here. Sending your breath and awareness into the front of the left hip flexor, the psoas, almost as though you're inflating it like a balloon as you inhale. And then as you exhale, softening, melting, letting go as much as you can here. Staying as long as you like, as long as this is nourishing. And when it's time to explore, you might send your left leg off to the left of the mat and draw your right knee out to the right. Go with what feels like it's best serving you. So maybe a little movement, a little bit of exploration here, a little bit of rocking side to side, or even pointing and flexing the toes. Maybe stillness serves you. So really honor what it is you need in this moment. When it's time to return, draw your knee in through center. Draw the left leg through center. Step the left foot slowly to the floor and return the right foot to the floor as well. Stamping your feet into the earth. Curl your tailbone up and off the support. Remove your block off to the side. And then from here, see if you can reverse that curling up that we did by lowering the top bones of your spine one at a time down so that your tailbone is the last thing to come down. And see if you can just be still here. And absorb and observe the effects of that posture on your body. Perhaps reconnect with the intention that you set at the start of practice. Finding your yoga strap. Drawing the knees into the chest and then lassoing the bottoms of the feet into the strap so that the strap is around the ball mounds of the toes. Then extending the legs up, keeping the elbows straight so that you have this nice firm grip of the strap. If it's challenging on the wrists to grip the strap, you can always make a loop with the hands here. And even if you're one of the people that can bring their feet way, way up over their head, see if instead you can find the alignment where your ankles are directly above your hips here. This is a very neutralizing pose for the sacrum, for the low back. And now again, like we did when the leg was extended out on the floor, press sharply out through both heels this time. Draw the toes back toward the body, opening the backs of the legs and firming the quadriceps, lifting the kneecaps, feeling nice action in the legs here. Keeping that nice action happening in the legs, that effort in the legs. Draw your awareness to your breathing and see if you can expand the breath into the low belly so that it's nice and full on your in-breath. And as you exhale, feel a sense of the navel just softening toward the spine. One or two more full abdominal breaths in that way. Keeping your hands where they are, bend the knees out to the sides, bring the bottoms of the feet together, and then hold the strap, draw the strap in about to your groin, and then allow the feet to come toward the earth for a version of Supta Baddha Konasana. So you're holding the strap and helping with a bind here. Let the low back arch off of the floor gently. And breathe here for as long as you like. When it's time to come out of this pose, pull the strap with the hands, lift the legs back up to the sky for a breath. Then remove the strap. You can place it off to the side. And perhaps reach for your big toe grip or the outer edges of your feet for Ananda Balasana, happy baby. You might rock side to side. Stillness might be nourishing for you instead. So go with what feels most beneficial. Maybe straightening one leg at a time. And then as you make your way into Shavasana, find any movements that your body is still craving here. So give yourself permission to explore your way into our final relaxation pose. And then once you make your way to Shavasana, be sure to do what feels most nourishing for your body. So maybe a blanket under the knees or a blanket under the head. Maybe you cover yourself with a blanket or offer some weight on the thighs, perhaps an eye pillow. But take your time getting there. And once you find your way, see how easily you can let your body be held by the earth. It might take a few open-mouthed exhales. It might take a little bit of moving the shoulders away from the ears, rocking the pelvis side to side. Once you've landed in Shavasana, relax the eyebrows and soften the jaw. Feel the brain sink toward the back of the skull, and the eyes soften away from the eyelids. Give yourself permission to stay here as long as you choose. as long as this Shavasana is nourishing. And when you're ready to transition, do so mindfully and slowly and with awareness, not in any rush. As though you're exploring waking up for the first time.
So thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. The highest potential in me vows to honor the highest potential in you. Namaste.